Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a brand new Pokemon in the world of Pokemon Go, Togedemaru. Togedemaru is an electric and steel type Pokemon with the moveset of Thunder Shock, Fell Stinger, and Wild Charge. And with a self-debuffing nuke move and a bait move that can buff its attack, this is a Pokemon that is incredibly bait dependent, but in the right situations, it can put in a ton of work. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out some Great League practice battles versus members of my Discord featuring Togedemaru. Hopping into the first match, hitting Sableye into Steelix. Honestly, I'm thrilled to catch Steelix on the lead because it would absolutely destroy my Togedemaru in the back. I'm just going to stay in this matchup, fire off foul play after foul play. I don't really want to shield Sableye in this matchup because my backline does very, very well with shields. So I'm just going to let this go. They actually go for a Psychic Fangs bait, so that is even better, and I'm going to fire off my second foul play. This will be taking down the Steelix. Steelix forced to commit a shield. Again, I have no intentions of shielding my Sableye on this lead. They go for another Psychic Fangs. They are not going to be able to farm down, and I reach a third foul play. My opponent does not want to give up their final shield, and I'm able to win switch advantage and shield advantage. In comes Trevenant to farm me down, but I get to align the Trevenant onto my Dubwool. They do have an energy lead, but Dubwool is very safely able to tank 2 Seed Bombs here. I'm going to let the first through, and they should be able to reach the second right here. I'm going to let this go as well. It will get my health kind of low, but I will be able to tank it. In the back, they have Defense Deoxys, and I'm going straight for the Payback. Payback will do massive damage when it lands, and in comes Togedemaru. I'm taking super effective damage from the counters, but I'm going to start spamming out Fell Stingers. Fell Stingers hit for super effective damage, and they're going to buff up my attack. Togedemaru able to win CMP over Deoxys. Do they want to give up their final shield? They do not. Back in comes Trevenant. My Wild Charge is resisted here, but it is double boosted. Togedemaru takes down the Trevenant, and that is a good game. Great lead in the next match, Sableye into Nidoqueen, and the Nidoqueen is staying in, which is even better. I'm going to farm up, try and CMP to the Earth Power, but my opponent is going to go for the extra. Foul play, does get the shield. I do live in Earth Power here, but I am going to shield it up, merely just because I need to try and get some damage off on the Nidoqueen. Unfortunately, my opponent does lag slightly there. I am going to be able to reach the foul play. Foul play is able to land, and they're going to be able to reach their Earth Power after all. I'm going to let this go. Earth Power is going to be able to take me out. And then I'm going to do something a little risky. I'm going to go for the double resisted Thunder Shock farm down with Togedemaru. Let's go. They're going to fire off a Poison Fang. Poison Fang isn't going to be doing a whole lot. In the back, they have Obstagoon. I'm going straight for the Wild Charge, and then I'm going to switch. Wild Charge, big damage onto the Obstagoon. In comes Dubwool. Dubwool farming up, and we get the double kick through, meaning that this Obstagoon is now KO'd. It all depends what they have in the back. They have Medicham. Oh my goodness, this is going to be very tough because both of my Pokemon remaining take super effective damage from counter. I'm able to reach a last second payback. This will be getting the Medicham quite low, and now the question is, can I reach double Fell Stinger? This is going to be very close. I'm going to fire off the first Fell Stinger. That grabs the shield. Come on, Togedemaru. My opponent throws a move. They may have been able to counter down there, but they throw a move. Togedemaru able to reach the last second Fell Stinger. That will be taking down the Medicham and securing the victory. Hopping into the next match, swinging Sableye into Jellicent. And the Jellicent is staying in here, which is honestly even better for me. They go for a catch onto Drapion, and I'm going to fire off a return. This will do massive damage if it lands. They do commit the shield, and I'm going to bring in Dubwool. Dubwool does have a pretty solid matchup against Drapion, just being able to spam out these body slams, which hit for a ton of damage. They're going to fire off their first move. I'm definitely not shielding the first move, just in case I do get the crunch debuff. Thankfully, they're not able to debuff me, which is quite nice. I'm going to shield this up, merely just because I do want to try and preserve some HP, so that way it'll make it more difficult for the Jellicent to take me out if they're not running Ice Beam. Body Slam takes down the Drapion. Back in comes the Jellicent. Jellicent farms up, and they're going to fire off a move just before I'm able to reach the payback. Nice counting. And they do have Ice Beam. That's going to be able to take me out. I bring in Sableye. They overfarm, and they're going to fire off a move before I reach the foul play. This is going to get me quite low, but I'm saving my shield shield, and in the back, they have Escavalier. Oh my goodness, this is not great for me. I'm able to land the foul play. The question is, can I Thundershock down with Togedemaru? I'm gonna fire off the Fell Stinger, hoping to try and grab a shield. Fell Stinger gets the shield. Come on, Togedemaru, get there. Are they at the back-to-back? I think they might be. We commit the shield, and they are at the back-to-back. We fall just short of the farm down, and we lose a heartbreaking game. Hopping into the next match, leading Sableye into Azumarill. This is not the greatest lead ever if you're a Sableye. I'm going to stay in this matchup to start and go for the return. I'm hoping to get some chip damage, and then I'm going to be safe switching into Double. Return, able to connect. I bring in Double. Azu banks their energy, and they bring in a Rapidash. Opponent running some serious spice. I'm going to be firing off the Body Slam. That does a solid chunk of damage. And I'm going to fire off Body Slam number 2. Rapidash has to shield this if they want to keep their energy. They will, and they are now at 100 energy. They are at back-to-back moves. I'm going to let this Flame Charge go. Flame Charge, not going to be enough to KO, and I'm able to reach another Body Slam. Do they want to give up the final shield? They do not, and down goes Rapidash. They still have the Azumarill that has quite a lot of energy, though, and they're going to bring in the Azumarill. I will be able to reach a Body Slam. Body Slam not going to be enough to KO, but it's going to get the Azu incredibly low. Azu able to farm down. I'm going to bring in Togedemaru, and hopefully they aren't running Hydro Pump. Azu is running Hydro Pump. That does a ton of damage. They have Salazzle in the back. I'm able to reach a Wild Charge. This will be grabbing the final shield or taking them out. And then from here, Sableye will be able to finish out this game. I am going to commit a shield just because I'm not 100% sure on Salazzle counts. I shield up. I'm able to reach the foul play. Foul play will be taking care of the Salazzle, and the Azumarill should be in Shadow Claw down range, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, picking up a Dream Lead, Sableye into Medicham. Opponent save switches into Noctowl, and bad news for the opponent, we appear to have them hard countered. Togedemaru is an incredible counter to Noctowl. They go for the Sky Attack, but even if they go for the Shadow Ball, we're comfortably able to tank it and reach the back-to-back Wild Charges. Wild Charge takes down the Noctowl, and I'm hoping they bring back in the Medicham so I can launch some Wild Charges. But my opponent makes a very nice read, and instead, they're going to bring in Galarian Stunfisk. I'm debuffed, and their Mud Shots hit for double super effective damage, so they're going to be able to farm me all the way down. I'm going to reach one final move. This Wild Charge does a solid chunk of damage onto the Stunfisk, and now I'm going to bring in Dubwool. Dubwool should be able to tank any one move here. My opponent goes for a Rock Slide bait. You love to see it. This is enough for the Earthquake. I'm going to let it go. If it is the Earthquake, I switch anticipating the snipe, but they actually stay in with the Stunfisk. That is a little unfortunate for me, but either way, Sableye should pretty safely be able to finish out this match. I'm just going to shield whatever the Stunfisk throws, because at this point, the Stunfisk is the biggest threat to my Sableye. I'm going to farm up, go for the foul play. My opponent makes a very nice switch, catching the foul play onto their Medicham, but unfortunately, this Sableye is just too healthy. They're going to be able to fire off an Ice Punch. That's totally fine. Sableye not threatened by Ice Punch whatsoever. I can let that go. I'm going to reach the back-to-back foul plays here. So if they want to commit the shield to preserve the Medicham, I'm immediately going to be able to take it out. They let it go. They bring back in the Stunfisk, but I have the foul play to grab the shield and the payback to finish them off. Payback, it's overkill, but it does take down the Stunfisk and clutch the win. Tough lead in the next match, Sableye into Registeel. Honestly, Registeel has a ton of play against this entire team, so definitely not a fun Pokemon to face. I'm going to farm up and fire off the Foul Play before they're able to reach the Zap Cannon. Foul Play will do a solid chunk of damage. They're going to fire back with the Zap, and then I'm going to bank this energy and save switch into Dubwool. In comes Dubwool. These double kicks adding up on the Registeel. Registeel able to reach the Focus Blast, but honestly, that's fine by me. I'm going to shield and take my energy lead for whatever is in the back, and it is Altaria. Honestly, with this big of an energy lead, Altaria is manageable here. I'm going to fire off my first body slam, fire off a second, and my goal will be to constantly be over farming to hopefully not let my opponent know how much energy I have. They're going to fire off a move. I'm going to be letting this through. They go for the sky attack. I tank it, and I'm going for the payback, hoping they called a body slam. Payback takes down the Altaria, and I'm able to win switch. That's huge. In the back, they have a water gun Lantern, and honestly, Lantern with energy is a little bit scary for this team. I'm going to fire off a body slam. That does some solid chip damage. I'm going to bring in Togedemaru, farm up, go for a catch onto Sableye. I go for the foul play, but my opponent unfortunately makes a catch themselves. I undercharge the foul play. My goal is I want them to farm me down, which they do, so I can get energy on Togedemaru. This is going to be a very close endgame. Togedemaru versus Lantern. I bait with Fell Stinger. I'm able to grab a shield. Togedemaru, it's a glass cannon. It hits hard, but it's not the tankiest. Surf does a ton of damage. I'm going to fire off another Fell Stinger bait here, hoping for the shield. Fell Stinger gets no shielded. A beautiful call by my opponent, and we lose the game. Hopping into the final match, leading into some extreme spice, Sableye into Shadow, double kick Nidoqueen. You love to see it. I'm going to farm up and fire off my foul play. Foul play does get shielded. Nidoqueen, definitely not the tankiest. This is a tough decision. I'm going to call the Sand Tomb, and I'm able to call it correctly. That's huge. They're going to fire off another move. I do want to try and preserve some health on Sableye, so I am going to shield that up. Just in case they happen to have a fighter in the back, I need my Sableye alive. I fire off the foul play. Foul play takes out the Nidoqueen. In comes Shadow Shiftry, and I immediately save switch into Double. This Leaf Blade is going to hurt. It's going to do a massive amount of damage. I'm going to fire off a Body Slam. Body Slam, not enough to KO here, but it is going to get that Shiftry very low. Shiftry on incredibly low HP, able to reach a last second move. Unfortunately, my switch clock is not yet up, so I am going to be waiting the timer here. And then, you know what? I'm actually going to bring in the Sableye. We'll see what they have in back. They have a Shadow Electivire opponent bringing some extreme spice, but unfortunately for our opponent, we should have this game. They're going to be forced to throw a move on the Sableye, which is fine, and I will easily be able to take them out with a Wild Charge from Togedemaru. Back in comes Togedemaru. I should be able to live any one move here, so I'm going to let this go. They go for the Ice Punch. We tank that, and now it is Wild Charge time. Wild Charge is going to take down the Electivire. I should be able to Thunder Shock down the Shiftry, and that is a good game. Honestly, I came into this with pretty low expectations for Togedemaru, but honestly, I did enjoy playing it. I don't believe it's a mon very well suited to the Open Great League, just due to the fact that there's a lot of ground types at the moment, but in something like a Great League Limited meta, I feel like it could have a ton of play. The Thundershock Wild Charge combination is incredibly spammy, and with that Fell Stinger, if your opponent incorrectly shields a bait, they're gonna be in a world of hurt. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.